This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 3, verse 26. And I will make thy tongue cleave to the roof of thy mouth, that thou shalt be dumb. It shall not be to them a reprover, for they are a rebellious house. Shalom. All glory, honor, and praise is due only unto Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, along with the bishops and elders who rule and teach the church well in these last days, and salutations to the house of David. Ba'ath Shah Dawadah, the elect. I'm Shamar Moth here with a quick hitter, going in to the book of Ezekiel, the 3rd chapter, and the 26th verse, and I'm going to read it again. And I will make thy tongue to cleave to the roof of thy mouth. Now, Ezekiel represents the 144,000, right? The governing body of Israel, all right? The future kings and priests of this earth, all right? The righteous rulers that make up the 12 tribes of Israel, who are these so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, to include the speckled birds, the Israelite foreigner brothers and sisters, all right? And I will make thy tongue to cleave to the roof of thy mouth, that thou shalt be dumb, and shalt not be to them a reprover, for they are a rebellious house. And 2/3 of our people here in America are rebellious. All right, our people are the most rebellious people on the planet Earth. All right. Over here in America, you know, Jake wants to do everything except repent. Wants to do everything, any and everything, except come back to his maker, except come back to his heritage and nationality, except come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments. They rebellious, man. And the Lord's fixing to deal with 2/3 of the house of Israel here in America. Brutal judgments are getting ready to go out. They already are. And it's only going to get worse. All right, but a time's coming where the Lord is going to shut us up, man. You know, he's going to do to us what he did to Ezekiel, right? Thousands of years ago. Okay, because that which was then is now. Right? We're not going to be preaching and teaching, you know, edifying the lambs, you know, online and on the highways and hedges for much longer. That's clear to see if you're paying attention. All right? This internet ministry, this part of the journey is coming to an end, man. You know? The Lord getting ready to stick our tongues to the roof of our mouths. All right, in other words, shut us up, man. Make us dumb even. You know, starting with the elder apostles of Great Millstone on down. You know, you start with the head men of Israel. You know, that's the apostles of Great Millstone. You got the bishops, you got the elders, and you got the rest of the Akiam who are laboring in sound doctrine, you know, teaching and preaching it the right way. He gonna make us dumb, man. He make us dumb. Our word for dumb is alam, right? It's Hebrew word 482. All right, meaning to bind, right? To be dumb, to be bound, right? To tie fast, to be tongue-tied, right? Time's coming, you might be trying to, you know, teach a Jake, you know, break down prophecy, and the Most High gonna tie you up, man. Gonna have you tongue-tied, gonna have you looking stupid, okay? Because there's coming a time where it's just gonna be over, man. You know, it's called Jacob's trouble. All right, it says to bind, to be dumb, put to silence. Yeah, he might even make it to where, you know, you trying to talk, right? But nothing's coming out, man. Who knows how the Lord's gonna do it, you know? But hey, look, you know, our people have had plenty of time, man. The Lord Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai has been long suffering, right? He's been very patient with you Israelites. He's given you plenty of time. to seek him, you know. And the elect are seeking him in these last days. The elect lambs who were spread throughout the four corners of the earth, all right, and mingled among all nations, are seeking him. Okay? But yeah, man, he's fixing to shut us up, man. However that's going to look. Make us dumb, make us silent. All right? And that's going to be it for you Jakes, man. All right? It says, again, Ezekiel's chapter 3, verse 26, and I will make thy tongue cleave to the roof of thy mouth, that thou shalt be dumb and shall not be to them a reprover. And that's a big part of the ministry, man, reproving. We reprove ourselves, man. When we teach and throughout the course of our day, when we're not, uploading videos or doing lessons, we reproving ourselves, man, through the Spirit. Okay? It says, and shall not be to them a reprover. And our people hate being reproved, man. Our people hate being told that they're doing wrong. Our people hate it when you tell them to stop eating abomination. Our people hate it when you tell them, they going off by being Christians or Muslims or whatever. Our people hate it when we tell them to stop, observing these pagan customs, man. To stop indulging in these pagan feast days. For example, Christmas, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Easter, etc. But we supposed to, the Apostle Paul, writing to his protege Timothy, said to what? To reprove, rebuke, and exhort. All right, so reproof, is a big part of the ministry, man. But it says, with all long suffering and doctrine. So we got to be patient and be pushing the right doctrine. That's ultimately that's what's the most important, man. You ain't got sound doctrine, you ain't got nothing. We have to be sound doctrinally. All right. It says, and shall not be to them a reprover, for they are a rebellious house. And again, that's Jake, man. And we say Jake, talking about all you tribes. All right, all you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, you rebellious as fuck, man. And you Israelite foreigners too, man. It applies to you. All right. So yeah, man, just something I wanted to bring out. It's high time to awake out of sleep, man. I'll end it with that one. Because as of September 1st, 2025, the hopeful year of our deliverance and of Esau's destruction and judgment, we at that time, man. Okay, we at that time where we ain't gonna be able to work no more. It's not gonna be daytime no more. All right, referring to John chapter 9 and verse 4. But let me get this in Romans. All right, it's the book of Romans, chapter 13 and verse 11. And that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep. Right, as of September 1st, 2025, it's high time, man, to awake out of sleep. Talking about the spiritual stupor you in, to shake off that dust, man, to shake off, those chains, man. All right, to shake off Christianity, to shake off whatever ideology that you're bound by, to come out of that stupor, to come out of that drunkenness, man. It's high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believe, right? Because, we all come in at different times. Elder Apostle Har, for example, coming in 3.5+ decades ago, right? Myself, coming in 10 years ago, right? Receiving the names of the Lord 10 years ago, going out into the highways and edges 10 years ago. Some brothers come in 2 years ago, 5 years ago. But whatever it is, man, for now it says, is our salvation nearer than when we believed. That's right, man. So anyway, just something I wanted to get into real quick through the Spirit. Lord's about to shut us all up, man. All right, that's His will. These elites of Esau, you know, the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, they have an internet kill switch in place, so to speak. All right, there ain't gonna be no more teaching in the very near future. This is gonna be, you know, a thing of the past, man. All right, all plays into that famine that's coming. Amos chapter 8, verses 11 through 13. I don't want to write this out. You was edified through the Spirit. But I don't want to say shalom or so on to the next video.